Good morning, everybody. How are you? I hope you all will be pretty good. And the time is nearer to attend the offline classes. But today we will have again the online class. But it's not online. I will send you the link in the YouTube and just watch the video and prepare the questions. Okay. Today our topic will be the physiological effects of the gibberellin, as we have already seen or learned that how these gibberellins were discovered. So after the discovery of these gibberellin, their advantages we are just using in the agriculture and horticulture practices. So we'll see the main role which is mentioned in the NCERT. We will have some light on that. So this is the physiological role of physiological effects of gibberellins. These gibberellins are actually acidic in nature. Most important is these are acidic. So that's why these are also called as gibberellic acids. Also called as gibberellic acids. After the discovery of these gibberellic acids, there are hundreds of the gibberellic acids which were reported from the fungi and the hyaluronic. The most important statement based question that there are more than hundreds. There are more than 100 gibberellic acids reported from fungi and higher plants. So you have to remember this point that of the discovery of the gibberellic acids, today we know more than hundreds of the gibberellic acids. As these hundreds of the gibberellic acids were reported from this fungi and the higher plants. You have to remember these two things here, that fungi and higher plants we can find these gibberellic acids. And they are named as gibberellic acid 1 and named as GA1, GA2, GA3 and so on. So there are hundreds of the gibberellic acids which are reported from these fungi and these higher plants, and we name them as gibberellic acid 1, gibberellic acid 2, gibberellic acid 3 and so on. In all these, among these gibberellic acids, this gibberellic acid 3, among all the gibberellic acid 3 is the first discovered. It is the first discovered and most intensively studied form. Most intensively studied form of gibberellic acids. So by this statement, we can know that gibberellic acid is the first discovered gibberellic acid. We know hundreds of the gibberellic acids, but this gibberellic acid 3, this is the first discovered and it is most intensively studied gibberellic acid. Is this clear? So let us have some functions of it. So the length of axis. So these gibberellic acids are used to increase the length of axis. How can they increase the length of the axis? Suppose this is the plant, this is its axis. When we spray the gibberellic acid onto it, this plant will get increase in the length. So actually the length increases between these nodes. It increases the internodal length. Increases internodal length. So this property we can use in the grapes, because it is in the example here in the NCERT. We have to remember this example. This property is used. So this is used to increase the length of grape stalk. This is the most important point you have to remember. You have to remember this point as P by Q. So this is the P by Q. So your gibberellic acids, these are used to increase the length of the grape stalk. The second function of it is the gibberellic acids. It can elongate the fruit size and also improve the fruit shape. This is the most important P by Q idea, that gibberellic acids can improve, or gibberellic acids can increase, or we can say can elongate the fruit, that is apple actually. It can elongate the size of apple and improve its shape. This is the most important point. It has been also asked in previous years. So this is again a P by Q. So gibberellic acids, they can elongate and improve the size of the apple and the shape. So it can elongate the apple size and it can also improve its shape. So this is the most important point, and this is the most important example. This can be an example based question into your NEET exam. So must remember. Next thing is that these gibberellins, they also delay senescence. These gibberellic acids delay senescence. If we see some natural trees, some natural fruits are onto the trees, when we spray the gibberellic acids onto them, then the abscission will be delayed. We can say senescence is get delayed. So we can keep these fruits onto the trees in order to extend its market value. So in order to delay the senescence of the fruits onto the trees, we can increase its market value, or we can say that this also says fruit can be left on the trees for longer time. So by this property, fruits can be left on trees for longer periods. So by this application, that gibberellic acid delays senescence. These fruits can be left on trees for longer time. Why do we need to left these fruits on the trees for longer time? In order to extend the market period. So this can be used to extend market period. So farmers are just using this application of the gibberellic acid in order to delay the fruit ripening, and they are just keeping the fruits onto the trees by spraying these gibberellic acids in acids. It increases what we call, sorry, it is used in malting process. Gibberellic acids are used in malting process. Are used in malting process in brewing industries. This is most important function, that the gibberellic acids, when we just treat the cereals by the gibberellic acids, they get malted, and after that malting, this can be used in the brewing industry in order to get the product. Is this clear? Number next is, these are used to increase the length of the sugarcane stem. Can I rub? You just take a screenshot. As we know that these gibberellic acids, they are used to increase the length of the stem. If we see, we have an example of sugarcane. So these gibberellic acids are used to increase the length of the sugarcane stem. As we know, why do we need to increase the length of the sugarcane stem? Because this sugarcane stem is actually the storage of, actually this stores the carbohydrates of sugar. If the length of the stem increases, that means the yielding increases. So that is why these gibberellic acids are used to increase the length of the sugarcane stem for the large yield of sugar. For the large yield of sugar. By using these gibberellic acids, the sugarcane yield has increased up to 20 ton per acre. So why this sugarcane yield increased up to 20 tons per acre. 20 tons per acre. So this is most important point. This is the P1 that gibberellic acids are used to increase the length of the stem, that the stem stores the sugar actually. How much is the, so as much as the length of the sugarcane stem, that much sugar will be stored in that stem. So that is why in order to make the increase in the length of the sugarcane stem, we can have large yield. So that is why by the use of the gibberellic acids, the sugarcane yield has been improved up to or increased up to 20 tons per acre. Number next thing is, when we spray these juvenile conifers, we see spraying juvenile conifers with gibberellic acids. Spraying juvenile conifers with gibberellic acids. When we spray these gibberellic acids on the juvenile means those plants which do not have the stage of reproduction yet. So by spraying gibberellic acid on the juvenile, it hastens. So it hastens the maturity period. It hastens the maturity period. It hastens the maturity period, thus leading to the early seed development. Thus leading to the early seed formation. So that means these juvenile conifers, which is actually the pre-reproductive stage, it hastens this period, it hastens the maturity period. So that means the juvenile the next is that it is used in molting process. Most important, gibberellic acids are used in bolting process. We have many plants like beet. Beet is there, cabbage is there, or some plants with rosette head. Plants with rosette head. With rosette head. These are just treated with gibberellic acids. Treated with gibberellic acids. These are treated with gibberellic acids. What will happen? Let me show it here. Suppose this is a cabbage. This is a star, and onto this cabbage there are many nodes here, and onto that nodes there are these leaves which are just condensed to each other onto the same place like that, and they are forming this like structure. This is the cabbage. On to this there are many nodes from which these leaves have been arrived. So this is the cabbage one. In cabbage, when we treat it with gibberellic acid, in the early stage of the development, when this is a seedling, when we treat with gibberellic acid in early stage. In early stage, the internodal length will elongate. Internodal length will elongate. Then this plant will look like this. This is the one leaf. This is the second leaf. This is the third leaf. Like that one. So what is happened? This distance between these two nodes is very little here, least. But by the help of these gibberellic acids, these internodal length has been increased. So here there is an increase in the internodal length. So these rosette plants can be changed in this like this one. So this is called as actually bolting process. What is bolting process? In order to make these rosette plants and normal plants, we can use these gibberellic acids. Is this clear? So by this we have completed this gibberellic acids function. So in gibberellic acid function, what we have studied? We have studied that they can cause increase in the length of the stem. Their property is used to increase the length of the stalk of the grape. Second is elongate and improve the shape and the size of the apple fruits. Third one is they delay senescence, so fruits can be left on the tree for longer period in order to extend the market period. And next one is it helps us in malting process in the brewing industries, and also it is used in sugar cane. That sugar in the sugar cane, and it is used to elongate the stem length in order for better yield of the sugar cane, that is the 20 tons per acre. And the next one is when you spray the gibberellic acid from the juvenile stage of the conifers, then it hastens the maturity period and it forms the early seed development, and also it is used for bolting. So this is the physiological effects of the gibberellins. In the next session we will come with the physiological effects of the cytokinins.